All right. Hi, Team Evo. I'm here with Sam today. What'd you do?
I went 7-2 at the Lansing Regionals with Lunalight.
Oh, I know you really like that deck. You did well in Nats with it, so let's see
Yeah.
what you did.
A lot different from my Nats list.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So I'll start off with the starters. So 3 gold Leo, obviously the only three of like in the monster count, and then 3 Masquerade. This is honestly sometimes it's a better card to start with because obviously you're trying to dump Silverhound to get to your gold Leo, but already having this card in rotation means that you don't have to go through Wolf to go for Liger Dancer. Like a lot of times once you get your poly in rotation, you can just immediately force like some kind of interaction like right there. Because a lot of people, you don't want to get slow rolled by like a Bell or an Ogre on like Wolf late. So I think opening the Masquerade is one of the better cards to start with. And then more copies of any of your guys actually. Tinky, like sometimes obviously you'll start with a Gold Leo, but I've found if I have other starters, I like to hold this card in hand because this card searches for almost the rest of your guys.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, so there was even a couple of times I would like, if I knew I was getting my poly in rotation, but I didn't have this, I would search for Martin, and then I would fuse off the Martin, and then I would get to the Masquerade. So just a couple other options. And then obviously everyone plays Fractal. At Nationals I played 2, but I'm playing different starters in this list, so I think it's, and the format's just different. Like in Nats format, I just wanted to like make sure I started no matter what, because a lot of the other decks were quite inconsistent. And then the other starters are the Foolish Burial, which everyone plays because it sends the Hound. And then I'm playing 1 Foolish Burial Goods in the main. It's kind of inspired by Tom's list. He was not maining any Foolish Burial Goods, but I just wanted another copy somewhere because this card is just so flexible. Even if you don't play Serenade Dance in your main, Perfume is still technically a starter. It's not great. But if you open anything else, you can start by sending Serenade, or not Serenade, but Black Goat, which we'll see later. And I played 1 Pot of Prosperity. I mean, this is probably kind of bizarre for like Lunalight, but the fact of the matter is, I know this was discussed in Nick's deck profile, but this card says add a card from your deck to your hand. I just
You're not wrong. I understand why you play it. I just every time I activate the card, it either gets ashed or I have to give up everything on my extra deck, and it just feels bad.
yeah, it's like when I'm getting hand trapped to death, it's like it's so nice to have a card that says add a card from your deck to your hand. And then when you go second, it means you get to play 4 copies of all your broken cards. Like, realistically.
That's fair. I think that logic is sound.
And I didn't play it at Nats because Droll was, like, in every single person's main deck. So you did have to build differently. And I main decked the Serenade Dance to help play around Droll. But with the format changing up a lot, I think it's fine. Like, especially if you're going second, realistically, you're trying to cheat out Liger Dancer in some form or fashion. And so, like, you can just banish all of the non-fusion stuff out of your extra deck, even banishing extra copies of like Leo Dancer, or even if it fits in a matchup where you know 1 Liger sticks and you win, then the second Liger is a free banish. I mean, it of course it's completely matchup dependent, but
Yeah, of course.
yeah, those are the 13 starters. I just want to make sure I'm not. I mean, because like
Yeah,
Tom's list was only playing 11 starters in the main, and that's just it can be.
He was playing above 40, wasn't he?
He was playing exactly 40.
Oh,
He
okay.
was not maining these 2 cards. These were like heavy polys.
I see.
And I'll discuss why I didn't main those. Probably when we get to the matchups. And then you have kind of this. Obviously, there's all of the support guys that you have to play. 2 Kaleido Chick. This guy gets stolen all the time by Holy Sue and Nash Knight, but I don't care. I get him back. 2 Silverhound. This summons Kaleido Chick from the deck. I never played 2 of this card before, and it's not even like that the second. Because my logic before was like the second one never comes up. Like I'm never gonna like negate a card, or like I'm gonna use one and then the following turn I can send another one. There were a couple of games where that might have been useful, but it wasn't like necessary. But in the day, it's okay to have another name. You know, with the hand trap count being a little bit lower, sometimes just opening extra names is nice.
You should also talk about the interaction. It's like because like we had an interaction where it's like if playing against VS Canine, half the only reason that the VS cares against going into the board is this stops field spell.
The Vanquishable Field
Yep.
Spell.
So you can literally, because you're playing 2, you can put both in grave, and then I have to somehow out 2 of them, and it's near impossible.
Right, because usually someone who realizes the situation, which a lot of people don't understand the matchup, it's understandable, is they would like to SP banish your Hound before they activate the field spell because that's kind of their only win condition. Sometimes you can get 2 in rotation, and to be honest, you have a limited number of things you can send to the graveyard off your Kaleido chicks. And to be honest, like against Vanquish Soul, it might just be better to send 2 Silverhounds than to make the second Liger. Like to send a second Leo to go for another Liger. It just completely depends. Other 2 cards, 2 Black Sheep. This card is unbelievable. You know, like I've said, I like decks that have a bunch of non-once per turn cards, and this was the card I got a comment on today about it not being once per turn. Because I'd be like in one turn, I would add Poly, send this for fusion material, add back a guy, and then I would add back a guy from the grave. And I probably did that one of those effects twice in that same turn. And so someone finally picked up the card and was like, dude, what?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. No, this card's actually insane. Sometimes I side one out going second if it's like a matchup you just have to see specific cards, but even then I don't like to. Usually it's the Hound is kind of the free side out. But
Makes sense.
Those are the 2 ofs. And then the 1-ofs, obviously, that you have to play, the Tiger, the Wolf, and the Martin. I think this is all standard. I'm playing Emerald Bird. I actually did not play this at Nats, but I think Bird is worth playing, actually, because it gives all of your extra foolish effects just more oomph after you've been through Martin and Hound. Otherwise, quite often you have 3 or 4 things that will send from deck to grave, and once you've been through Martin or you open Masquerade hard, they don't do anything. And this is basically another extender. Usually it's like, because a lot of times people, whether you're playing into a board or they have some type of removal hand traps like Izuno or Holly, so their goal is to just remove Chick or take Chick, and this is just another way to
bring it right back.
Get it back. Or it even recycles from Banished as well, which can come back or come up. So yep, that's the monsters, and then obviously 2 Lunalight Perfume. This card, yes. I mean, this card's ridiculous. And then Poly and Lunalight Fusion. This is probably the best card in the deck, I found out today, because it's a format dependent thing. At Nationals, I was honestly citing this card out sometimes, even going first for floodgates and stuff. But this format, like, you play against a lot of decks that summon extra deck monsters on your turn, and what I would do is I would literally just hold this, or I'd hold away to dump Martin, and then wait for them to make Nash Knight or something, and then you just resolve this and you just make a Liger Dancer like instantly. Or you just get to send from deck, the worst case scenario.
It feels so bad. From experience, it is the worst feeling in the world, friendos.
Or when you go second, it's just ridiculous. Like I played against a couple of Draco Tail players, and you just get a couple of names in rotation, and you just activate this, and like game's over. Like there's nothing.
They just can't out Liger.
Yeah, I mean, I did this to Yummy, to Draco Tail. I mean, Vanquish. No, the card's ridiculous. Yeah, I had people read it multiple times, and they're like, ooh. Okay, so that's the engine cards.
Time for non-engine.
Yeah, there is some non-engine, but it's a little bit different. So 3 Fua, that's fairly obvious, and then 3 Book of Eclipse. I dodged at least 3 cards trying to negate my Gold Leo today with this Book of Eclipse. There's one time against a I can't remember what deck it was against, but like I had a chance to it was against Yummy to book earlier, but I was feeling he was holding a Veiler, so I held it, and then like I turned off, like he had 2 Snatchies and a name on board, and then I summoned Gold Leo, and then he Veilered it and I booked it, and it was like
it's just over.
Pretty good, yeah. So this card's really good actually when it's not getting negated, because this is Ashable for some reason. Dark Ruler. This card's also like, I thought this card was power crit, honestly, but you just had to find the right deck for it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the right deck for it. It's like something like Mermail, something like this. I Dark Ruled, like, it swung me a couple of game ones, like even against Vanquish Soul earlier. He didn't see his side of the engine like his Vanquish Soul side, but like this trade with the every K9 card.
Literally, these 2 cards beat. If you end up pure K9, this just beats either setup.
It trades with everything. And then obviously, like against Yummy, it's insane. I would keep 1 in against Vanquish Soul. It's not as good after siding, but I would still keep 1. It's all right. The Book of Eclipse is probably the card you want to see more, because this card also trades with the force release. Like if you have another breaker and you can force them to flip it, and then you can chain the Book of Eclipse and they get nothing. I also, like, after they resolved it a couple times, I would Dark Ruler the what's the guy's name?
Werewolf.
The werewolf, just so I didn't have to discard anything. And because the great thing about this card in this deck is that, like, this deck And I've said this in my Mermaid deck profile a while back, but when you have a deck that does not care about battle phase, in the sense that like when you make your guy, the game is over. You don't care about killing that turn, and that's been the difficulty with playing a lot of breakers for a lot of decks, because it's like, sure, I can play Yummy, and I can break their board, and I can establish 3 or 4 interactions. It's like, well, my Vanquish opponent has 7 cards. They have 6 cards in hand. They're going to draw to 7. Like they're going to beat 4 interactions. Well, if I put up Liger Dance for Spell Trap Negate, they can have 12, 13 cards. Like it doesn't matter. So it's just like completely. You got to reorient your brain, basically, because I played Yummy at Rosemont, and like coming back to play this again because I put it away after Nats. You had to like rewire.
This deck just operates on a different level.
Exactly. And then I played 2 Thrust, and then 1 Talents, 1 Called By, and then 1 Black Oat. So Black Oat is obviously, everyone knows Black Oat's really good. This format, you can call Snatchy. That's really the only thing that's worth calling. I mean, there was one game I got shifted by VS, and I had Black Oat. To be fair, he opened like, sometimes you can call the thing they reveal off Jokul and you pray, but like I don't know, he opened like Stake Jokul, right.
It's so hard.
Then you're like, well, there's not really anything to hit, but overall it's good, and like,
it's like pseudo like heart of the soul of the deck is like you're trying to just stick Liger, and like while people are trying to interact with you on your first turn, like card just like you go search talent, you go search Lunalight Fusion, like you do so much with that one singular card.
Yeah, and like a lot of times what you can do is, especially if once you're playing VS, if you're playing a K9 deck, you can put this in the graveyard really early, and it actually like it's kind of like a pseudo called by. Sometimes against Holy Stone, it's actually just better. If you're playing against Azuna, then you can call by the Lupus. But I did this both today. Like I opened it once and pitched it off Goldleo to get it in rotation early, and then I just first action Foolish Burial Goods for this. And one time my opponent activate Holy Sue summon. I go Black Oak, call Holy Sue. They summon it, doesn't do anything. That cuts off 2 interaction points. That cuts off the Raisin Pop and the Caesar Pop. And then one time I got Azuna, and he goes activate Lupus Effect summon. I go Chain and call Lupus, and then they can't do anything there either. So yeah, this card's just really great right now. And you don't need that much non-engine. Like activating Lunalight Fusion is kind of broken. You side into more, of course, but like it felt like a pretty balanced main
setup for main one.
Yeah, it was 40 cards, and I never felt like I was losing game ones, just because really the only thing, if you can look at this deck, that you auto lose to is like Smasher Turbo shot my round 1 opponent for smashing me in game 3.
He also shifted you game 1, didn't he?
Yeah, first action of the day, I go activate Masquerade, and then he changed shifter, and that was and then I won game 2 through Holy Sue, Raisin Pop, Caesar, and Izuna. But that's what I'm saying. This deck, I made double Liger, Baguska, SP, Spell Trap Negate through that.
It's crazy.
It's good, yeah.
This deck's insane. If he gets going, this deck's hard to beat.
But unfortunately in game 3, right now we don't have an answer to Smashers. I want to shout out my other VSK9 opponents for not smashing me, because I would have lost. But I broke their boards afterward very easily, so shout out for not smashing me, for being honorable. But after the ban list, presuming Smashers banned, I think this deck might be kind of crazy.
I can agree, man.
All right, that's 40.
Yep. Time for the extra deck.
Yeah, extra deck. We'll do the fusions first. 2 Perfume Dancer. I mean, this card just does everything right. I mean, searches for the best card in your deck, and then it bounces stuff.
And then it's like the combo enabler. It just does a lot.
Yeah, I mean, technically you can use the graveyard effect to reduce attack. It's not come up, but I guess if I play Lunalight Mirror, it might. I played Saber and Panther. The Panther is necessary because there are some game states you have to make Leo. Didn't come up today, but I've made it at other events. Like some decks can't even out Leo Dancer, let alone Liger Dancer. Like if the Yummy don't have the field spell, they actually are never removing Leo Dancer either.
That's crazy.
So I mean, sometimes you actually do want to summon that, and sometimes you can summon Leo Dancer, and then it's in your rotation, so that if you continue playing after blowing up their stuff, it's in your graveyard. Now you could make Liger later. And then there's
and then the heart and the soul of the deck right here.
Yep, for sure. The Goat. Just 8 fusions. I think 8's the right number, because
I think that's fair.
If you go through all 3, if you try to go for both Ligers, you'll have 3 in the extra deck left. Unless your opponent plays and you Regeki, then you'll have 2, which is like probably the exact amount you want. But it's just matchup dependent. Like if you actually want to go for the second one, or if you want to like keep stuff in rotation. I mean, the main thing is that a lot of times making the second Liger will sacrifice your spell trap negate, and again, that's just like a matchup situation on what you want to give up. And then never didn't play this card before, but this is a floodgate out. I did get Teak Booed. One of my few Vanquish Soul game losses was flip Teak Boo. Didn't let me make this, unfortunately, but it's there. It's okay. It's honestly not terrible. I thought it was really bad, but
you gotta do what you gotta do.
It's okay. Yeah, there's some annoying continuous floodgates right now. Cross sheet. Yeah, it's fine. It's honestly not needed for a ton of the combos, but it's okay. And then SP, yeah, they're fine. They're just the
standard stuff.
Yep,
Nothing too crazy.
The Baguska, Tyre King, and Dugaris. These cards are kind of combo enablers. Baguska was like, I was ending on it a lot more at Nats because I was getting drolled a lot early in the turns. And so you'd actually need to make this and try to protect it to win. It comes up a lot less now. It's usually just a piece of your already broken inboard. So
did you not get drolled that much today?
I did get drolled some after siding, but like a lot of times if you open a lot of engine, you can make your first search wolf.
Oh, so then it just doesn't matter.
It doesn't, unless they have another hand trap, yeah. And then I played Naarla for the 15th card. I actually did use this like a few times today, and I detached 2 monsters with effects. Like I would detach the Chick and a Martin, and you get to do both. So that's kind of the upside over playing Dempsey, yeah. I'm not playing Impulse in this deck. I mean, you haven't seen the side, but spoilers. So there's really no downside to playing Naarla over Dempsey unless you have no monsters engraved, but that like
almost never happens.
Never comes up. Yeah, this card could be M7. And I know Tom played that at Worlds, but like I don't know the line. I don't know when it would come up. Like I've literally never. I've kept it next to me when I'm just playing to see if like it would come up, and I don't know. I've never used it.
I just don't see a world where you put 2 Perfume Dancer on the board. It's just insane.
It's like the lines are for like when you make your Perfume Dancer, but you don't have Masquerade in rotation, so you get Masquerade later. So then I need to fuse in a second time to trigger the add back, but now I have 2. I don't know. I don't get it. Clearly, it's playable if Tom brought it.
Yeah, but of course.
Yeah.
We're clearly just plebeians. We don't know.
Yeah. I mean, he did say the 16th card was Naarla. I just felt more comfortable with it.
That's fair.
At Nats, I played Zeus, but again, Zeus is really just for... In this deck, you never can make Zeus going second. That's just not the way this deck functions. Zeus was more for like clearing stuff on turn 3 after you got drolled or Lansing and made Baguska, but that is the game stages don't come up as much.
And now time for your side, and this is your side's interesting from what I know.
Side deck, 3 droll. This just has like the most coverage. I mean, Vanquish Soul can be tough. If they're not on Smashers, this is probably the best. I mean, even if they are, I mean, because I'm not playing the other hand traps, it's one of the better hand traps you can activate. In my round 1, I did droll him, and he opened like Izuna, Holy Sue, Jiaolong, and then I got Smashered. But like the other games I opened droll against Vanquish Soul, like I didn't get Smashered, like it did exactly what I wanted it to. Stopped
you're just gambling if they're playing or not. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, for this event, this was more of a test run. Mm-hmm. Like I think this is basically a post ban list.
Yeah.
I mean, I decided to play no considerations for Smashers. Like I wasn't like, oh, what if I get Smashered? I need to play this. I'm like, I got Smashered once. I was probably winning that game if I didn't get Smashered, and whatever.
Yeah.
But like that's unwinnable from this perspective or in this format. 3 Ash. I played this when I went second. I did put these in, or when I went first, obviously they're for Charmies. But when I went second, there were a few times I put in a couple. I think against Vanquish Soul, if I'm trying to cut off the field spell or something, I'd put in 1 or 2 when I was going second. Or against Drake Hotel, you'd leave them in. Or against, I didn't play any Malice, thank God. This deck just, even when you play the hate for it, like at Nats, I played like 9 hate cards for it. The matchup is still hard. I'm playing nothing. So if I played Malice, I was probably cooked. But again, this was test for like after ban list when we're presenting Malice is not playable.
Yep.
And the other 2, in this deck, you don't really treat this deck like a lot of the other decks. When you go first, you just want to resolve your engine. Like your floodgate is your engine. Mm-hmm. Like, so I just want more engine. So this puts me up to 15 starters. And then it's like more Black Goat for the Holy Sue Izuna. It just feels like I was just opening hands. I'm like, I have like 2 starters, like an extender card, and I'm opening like a Called by, a Talents, a Thrust, which Thrust is always live for every card in your deck against this deck because they summon. It just felt like, I don't know, it just felt like if I wasn't getting floodgated, I couldn't lose. And then, yeah, 2 heavy poly. This card only got negated today. But it did exactly what it needed to do. It says summon Liger damage, my opponent has to negate it, and then I do other stuff. You can't main this card because it's actually unactivatable against Vanquish Soul. Like, you activate this, I go, I'll chain trap card, and then you die. So, like, I mean, obviously Tom played this in his main deck at Nats, but, like, I mean, I played against 4 Vanquish Souls today, and like you can't put it in going second.
You literally can't. It's like you activate the card. I'm gonna wait till it resolves, and then either trap you or Boger you. Yeah, it's literally that's gonna happen.
Yeah. So they're good. They're good against like Dracotel and Yummy. You can put them in. It's just more cards they have to immediately have an answer for, or they lose on the spot. So those are always cards you want to see.
Yep.
But not mainable in my opinion. Third Dark Ruler. This is really just for Yummy. You just like. I don't play any hand traps against somebody, so you just want to see like 3 breakers and kill them. And then Duster, Lightning Storm, just one of each. It was nice to open both or be able to thrust for one or the other. I would like Duster front row, let people summon their stuff and attack, and Lightning Storm their front row, and then I'm holding Book of Eclipse if they summon other stuff. Like,
yep.
I don't know, like, it feels pretty good. This deck can not struggle, but like you really only care about like against Vanquish Soul, like if you're playing into their board. Realistically, like, after siding, I'm probably making Liger Dancer, but they can sometimes still get your 1 Liger on the crackback if you can't remove the field spell. So you really need to, have Ash to stop access to it, or open one of these, or you need to be able to go into Little Knight. Because sometimes it's hard. It's really hard to kill them on the turn you summon Liger. First off, Liger's not 4,000 attack, and then they usually can summon a guy afterwards unless you've resolved Kaleido Chick's effect to, like, Sangan come in the battle phase or whatever. Mm-hmm. Then just the third thrust.
Makes sense.
So a lot of 2-ofs and 1-ofs, but they're really all just for the siding patterns.
Yeah. I know you went into this event like super prepared. You want to tell me about some of your siding patterns and like your practice going into the regional today?
Yeah, I mean just briefly so a lot of times the standard going first cards is these 3 obviously, these 3. And then the 1 thrust. I think this is important because a lot of times, like, I was just opening so good all day, and I really think a lot of it is just because, like, I'm siding. My sides just felt really good. So these are, like, the cards you put in going first no matter what, usually. And then the cards I won't go through everything, but I will say the cards I'd always take out. When you go first, it's kind of obvious. It's like, obviously, the Dark Ruler is unactivatable. Some amount of Book of Eclipses, depending, like, if you're playing against Yummy, Book of Eclipse is better because they play Imperman Veiler.
Yep.
Much lower value if you're playing against, like, Vanquish Soul or something. But something like this is, like, a start for the side. When you're going second against anything, I'll just show the cards I'm immediately taking out. Masquerade is kind of, unfortunately, like, very unactivatable because it's not only a continuous spell, which is weak to Ash and like being popped, but it also is not on activation, right? So
yep.
I pretty much always took these 4 cards, these 4 engine cards out going second, no matter what.
Listen, I feel your pain. Literally, every time when someone asks me how I side in VS, and I'm like, oh, I take out 2 Mad Love and the trap card, they're like, that's crazy. And I'm like, those cards don't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but you have to. I mean, a lot of times, depending, you may take that out. You may take the Foolish Burial Goods out. I mean, that's 6 cards right there you can get to. If it's really bad, you can take out the second Black Sheep. Don't like to do that. Yeah, I mean, not the Prosp. I'm always keeping Prosp in. If you're going to take out Black Oat, then you probably want to take that out. So that's like 6 engine cards right there you can cut. And then the Thrust, there's like extra engine anyway.
Yeah,
you're drawing a 6 card. It feels fine.
Well, I feel that.
There was exactly one game against Yummy where like I opened like every freaking breaker you wanted, and I just like my opponent played around heavy poly perfectly. He just never gave me 3 monsters to summon, and that was a little frustrating because I didn't open a name.
Yep.
Or I opened only one. I opened only one name and he popped it with a croaky, but. So sometimes that can happen, but you'd rather see your breakers than the extra name 90% of the time. So,
understood.
I guess that's that's kind of the list. Feels pretty good. I guess I could talk. I kind of wanted to talk briefly just about matchups. It was, it was meta. It was 2 Draco Tail. That shit's free. I won't lie. There's basically nothing. There's just nothing.
They don't have an out. They do not have an out.
I didn't even go first. Like, it's like my opponent was playing branded Draco Tail game 1. He resolved branded fusion and Rahu, and I killed him. It's just, they summoned. He's got a board. Like, he has Mirror Jade, and he has some of the back row, and he has Quim summon Aubaz, and it doesn't matter. You just summon Liger Dancer. It doesn't do anything. I played 3 Yummy. I did lose to 1. Unfortunately, I got quadruple handicap out of the game. But the other 2 matchups, they kind of went my way, and that's because, like I said, this has a good matchup into it, and you play so many breakers. It's just so difficult for them to stop you. The big surprise was I played 4 Vanquish Soul K9. I did lose round 1. I got shifted game 1, and then Dice Master game 3. Not putting too much stock into that. That's not going to happen anymore, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Hopefully not.
List. But, I was really concerned about this matchup, and that's why I didn't play this for a while. But I put in a lot of practice to it. Shout out to the man behind the camera, Nick, for playing so much Vanquish Soul against me, convincing me that he didn't convince me with his words, but just me playing convinced myself that you can actually win games against this deck. Against, if you can win a game against Nick playing this deck, then I'm like, I can go to regionals and beat people. And that's no disrespect to my opponents. They all played fine. But Nick's obviously a great VS player.
Listen, I'm just going to say this. I literally have opened Halasu, Fire Dark, Raisin Popped, Caesar Popped, Ash, Izuna, and I still got double Ligered. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah, no, it's just straight gas sometimes.
The deck's crazy.
Yeah, I really I'm really excited to take this deck actually to another big event. If we can literally just get, because my only other game loss to Vanquish this entire event in 4 rounds was the Shifter, the Smasher, and then the Teak Boo.
Literally just Floodgate 1, Floodgate 2, Floodgate 3.
Yeah, and it didn't matter if I went first or second in other games I won. And the other thing I want to talk about very quickly was time. Obviously, this was the first event under the new time rules. Shout out Chris for probably being the first person in North America to get a double game loss. We actually...
Let me clarify. An attack declaration for a game with 5 seconds on the clock. Right. I got a match loss, and the judge was watching, and they watched my opponent do the snatchy shuffle just to stall, so I couldn't declare an attack. I lost the match. Right. They said no, you lose. Go take it back.
And there were 2 regionals today, and one was on the West Coast. So you should have been the first double match loss ever in North America. So
that's crazy. That's actually insane.
It might actually be the first regional.
Yeah. But not to say that you had any issues playing or your opponent was, but before the event, I spent about 75 minutes the day before. I literally clocked all my combos. I clocked it for about 75 minutes. Now, I definitely overestimated my ability because on this sheet I wrote down my goal was to do it under 4 minutes, but that never happened. Even just sitting here. I've got a bunch of times here, and they're between 4:38 and 6:20. Sometimes I was getting hand trapped, in my mental head, mental space. But and I was literally freaking timing my side decking. Just because I wrote down my whole side patterns. I know what I'm putting in. Playing as well, it's going to take me 40 seconds. I'm done pile shuffling. We sped everything up, and it worked today. And the other thing I want to talk about was, I know there's some issues with the time rules, but I've played decks like Pearly before, and this deck can have a similar thing where it's it doesn't have infinite engine pushes. You summon your guy, it can attack twice, but at the end of the day, some of these decks put up so much in their, they keep so much advantage, they can keep summoning dudes, essentially, infinitely. And you're going to run out of... Even if they have no out, you're going to run out of Regekis, eventually. But, they have no incentive anymore to sit there. Even if it's, game 2, that's just the best part about this. Because I would play Pearly, and I would have, a freaking 8-mat no R.
And there's no way
they cannot win. It's impossible for them to win. But they'll sit there and wait till 5 minutes on the clock. They'll scoop. They'll go game 3, and they'll lose in time. And that could very well happen playing Lunalight, because it may take you, not as much as Pearly, to be fair, but it could take you a couple of turns to kill. And my opponent could not scoop when the game is like clearly unwinnable.
No, and
we'll they get burned in time.
No, because we'll talk about this fact that we'll have local games of like we're playing at locals and it's like he's made double Liger. I know he has 3 more Regekis, and I'm just gonna stall out 3 Regekis. Like I'm just trying to live long enough to the point of like, but that's what you do. It's like that's your out, that's your win condition.
Well, there were different time rules.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's changing like the incentives too. Like I mean, you could actually. I've taken long enough, and you burger burn me. You may win on life in time, and that's no longer like a real situation. I think that's just a positive. I mean, there are negatives to the time rules, but that is a positive for the game. Like my opponents all day were seeing the board, and they were looking at their deck, and they were like, "I don't got an out," and they scooped, and we finished all our games in an appropriate time length. And I don't know. That's all I want to say. I'm just kind of happy about that.
No, I think it's great. I think I finished most of my rounds at the regional day in like 30 minutes, like without fail. It was insanity. Yeah. People were playing at a faster pace than I think I've ever seen people play.
Yeah, I definitely noticed people playing faster. Yeah, I just think that's a good thing. And then finally, I guess one of the last thing about the deck was it was 7-2, but both of the losses were. I mean, they were unwinnable. One was just like Yummy guy open, starter extender, 4 hand trap, 2 games in a row. I mean, that's just going to happen playing against Yummy, even if it's a good matchup. And then the Vanquishable player, I mean, Shifter, one of
it happens.
A card that's going to be banned.
Yep.
So I'm like feeling pretty optimistic about this going forward. So yeah, that's the list.
Yeah, and then any shout outs, my man?
Shout out everybody at Team Evo. Obviously I already shout out Nick specifically, but. Shout out myself for this list. And, shout out Tom. Actually, shout out Tom.
For kind of reinstilling.
Yeah, because I gave up this deck, and Tom's Nats run kind of inspired me to pick it back up. And it was actually really fun. I had so much fun playing this today.
I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is one of the best spots it's ever been.
Yeah, the game is great. That's all I got. Hopefully I'll get a new deck profile for you guys soon. Yep,
and then I guess the last thing is just shout out to LAFCU for sponsoring our people at our group today. So big shout out to them. Yeah, and then we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.